Go figure, I ended up buying something. Turns out I bought the AirPods Pro 2 much earlier than I expected. And I'm really glad I did because they are a huge improvement on the first generation, almost as much as the first generation was on the original AirPods. You see, my sister randomly saw the advertisement for the new AirPods Pro 2 and was curious about getting a pair, didn't really want to spend the money, so I thought, this is a great opportunity for me to be a loving big brother and give her my old generation AirPods Pro so that I can purchase the new ones for myself. But enough of that, let's jump into the 7 changes which come with the second generation and talk about why they improve it just so much for me on a daily basis. First up is the battery life, and now this isn't a fair comparison because even though I've had my AirPods replaced in the past year or so under Apple's warranty, their battery life was still degrading. However, even accounting for that, these AirPods Pro 2 come with an improved battery life right out of the box. The individual AirPods now boast a close to 6-hour battery life before you have to put them back in the case, which basically means I'll never have to worry about charging them in the middle of a call or middle of a workday. Anytime I want to use them, they're pretty much fully charged. Next up is adaptive transparency. So this year, Apple has built on the last generation transparency mode in making it adaptive to loud sounds that suddenly appear. So say you have the second generation AirPods Pro in transparency mode as you're walking around the city so that you can be aware of your surroundings. You then walk by some incredibly loud construction work and the adaptive transparency in the AirPods Pro will actually reduce that construction sound while allowing you to hear other things in your environment. Over the past week that I've owned these, that hasn't been something I've needed, but I'm sure when the time comes, I'll be very glad that I have it. Speaking of transparency mode, Apple has actually improved the already stellar transparency mode of the original generation. And when I say improved, I mean they have kicked it out of the park, improved it. It is insane how good the second generation transparency mode is. If I didn't feel them in my ear, I really wouldn't know that I was wearing the AirPods Pro. It's that good. It's incredibly surreal. That's the best word I can think of to describe it. Now, when Apple was on stage and hyping up how much better the new transparency mode was, I really didn't believe them. I mean, how could it be any better than the first generation? Well, trust me, it is. It's really, really good. But instead of just improving the transparency mode, they've also improved the active noise cancellation mode. Apple now claims you can get up to 2 times more noise cancellation, and let me tell you, I believe it. I've paid big bucks before for the top-of-the-line active noise cancellation over-the-ear headphones. I'm talking about the Bose QC35s, the QC25s, the Sony, who knows what jumble of numbers appears after them, as well as the AirPods Max. And these AirPods Pro 2 kick all of them out of the park when it comes to active noise cancellation. And they fit in your pocket. I don't know why anyone would travel with anything more than these. They're just that good. Well, you may be saying, okay, yeah, the active noise cancellation is a good thing, but when I travel, I want to have some good quality sound. And Apple doesn't disappoint. The original AirPods Pro sounded really good, and these sound fantastic. Now, disclaimer here, I am not an audiophile. I don't listen to much music, I don't care really about the quality of music, but even I, with my tone-deaf, okay, not really tone-deaf, but let's pretend tone-deaf ears, I can hear the improvement. Mainly, it comes in the better bass. It just sounds richer, fuller, deeper, and makes all the songs you listen to sound that much better. So once again, why would you travel with anything more than this? And when it comes to the AirPods Max, why would you spend close to $500 for those things when you can get these for half the price? And they're so much better. But now let's switch away from the software and sound changes and talk about the hardware changes which come with the AirPods Pro 2. First up is the case itself. Because believe it or not, the changes that Apple made in the case for the AirPods Pro 2 might just make it worth it to upgrade all on its own. You see, if you bought the AirPods Pro in the past couple of years, you got the wireless charging. That means you could throw them on a MagSafe charger and they would charge reasonably well. Well, this year, Apple has improved that into full MagSafe charging. This means that if you have a MagSafe compatible charging puck, you can just throw the AirPods Pro on there and the magnets will align it perfectly to make sure you get that optimal charging speed. That way, when you go to pick them up later, you'll know that they have actually charged completely. Now, this isn't a huge deal for me, but it is pretty nice, I guess, because now it means I can throw them on my iPhone mount in the car and have them charge even though they're standing vertically, which is pretty cool, I guess. But let's not forget the most important change that they have made to the case, and that is the little lanyard loopy holes. Okay, really, I guess it's pretty cool. It's just not for me. I'd love to be able to throw a little lanyard on there and tie that onto my bag so that I always know where they are, but I think that would make charging a bit inconvenient because then I'd have to untie them to throw them on the charger. But if that is something you're interested in, hey, now it's built in. You don't have to buy a case that has little attachment points. But the case change that I'm most excited for and have already used a couple times this week is the built-in speakers and Find My support. Because let's face it, one of the appeals of this that make traveling with AirPods Pro so cool is it's tiny. Unfortunately, that means it's quite easy to get lost if you just toss things to the side like I do. Well, now if you open up the Apple Find My app, you can play a sound which comes directly through speakers, meaning you can track them down, or you can even use the built-in H2 chip and walk around and find them throughout your house like you would with an AirTag. It's really cool, and like I've said, it's already saved my bacon a couple times this week. That's it when it comes to hardware changes for the case, but there is one final change that I want to talk about when it comes to gestures on the stem of the AirPods Pro itself. You see, the second generation AirPods Pro have all the gestures that we're used to, allowing you to switch between active noise cancellation and transparency mode, or quickly play and pause different songs and stuff like that. But Apple has now added a swipe gesture on the side of the stem, allowing you to quickly turn up and down the volume. And this is by far my favorite feature of AirPods Pro 2. You see, I'm very often listening to a podcast or a book throughout the day as I'm walking around my office or about the house when no one's home. But I'm not the sort of person that always carries around my iPhone. And frankly, going from room to room as dynamics change and noise is going on around me, I want to be able to quickly change the volume, but I haven't been able to, except now. And it is wonderful. This week I started running again, and I've been doing it with just the AirPods Pro and my Apple Watch Ultra, which is a fantastic experience that I've never done before. You know, actually being able to leave the phone at home while I do this and still listen to things and track my runs. But the thing is, well, as I'm out there running and listening to things, cars drive by or I pass construction work and stuff like that, and I want to raise the volume a little bit. Now it is incredibly easy to just flick up on the stem and raise the volume a couple notches. It is really cool and well worth the upgrade price in my book. The one downside to buying the AirPods Pro 2 right now is that with all the new regulations coming out of the European Union and all the rumors for the Apple pipeline in 2023, it looks like next year just might be the year that Apple switches to USB-C everywhere, and unfortunately, AirPods Pro 2 still has Lightning. Tough luck. Till next time, bye. Let's do this. Let me redo that because they're not AirPods Pro Max, they're AirPods Max. It's surreal. That's the best word I can think of to you. Let me start that over again. Need to keep track of this YouTube work. Recording and editing. So I guess I was wrong. I ended up purchasing the AirPods 2. No, let's start over. Excellent. Time for the next one.